Hey, what if the secret to crushing chronic fatigue, balancing blood sugar, and even turning back the clock on aging isn't in some fancy pill or grueling diet, but in the very food on your plate right now? I've seen countless folks come to me, drained to the bone, brains foggy as a winter morning, after trying every fad under the sun. Keto, carnivore, you name it. They're still running on empty. But there's a way of eating, a plan I wish I'd stumbled on decades ago, that powers up the tiny engines in your cells and rewires your health from the inside out. Stick with me, because this could be the game changer you've been aching for. Now, let's dig a little deeper. Why do so many of us feel like we're slogging through mud every single day, even when we think we're eating right? Here's the kicker. It's not just about calories or cutting carbs. It's about what's happening at a level you can't see, deep in your cells, where tiny powerhouses called mitochondria are either firing on all cylinders or sputtering out. I've had patients who've battled diabetes, who felt their energy tank empty by noon, and they had no clue these microscopic factories were the root of it all. Ever wonder why a cup of coffee can't fix that bone-deep tiredness? Or why your blood sugar swings like a pendulum no matter how clean you eat? It's because when mitochondria are starved or stressed, your whole body pays the price. Fatigue, brain fog, inflammation, even chronic conditions creeping in. But here's the twist. What if I told you that a few tweaks to your meals, like swapping out that processed snack for a handful of vibrant berries, could start rebuilding those engines? Let's unpack how this works, step by step, because once you see the connection, you'll never look at your plate the same way again. Picture this: a woman in her 50s, let's call her a dear friend I've known for years, who used to drag herself through the day, popping sugar pills for her type 2 diabetes, always complaining about aching joints. She tried every diet in the book, but nothing stuck. Then we shifted her focus to fueling her cells with high-quality fats. Think creamy avocados and a drizzle of olive oil on her greens. And within weeks, she was waking up with a spring in her step, her glucose readings steadier than they've been in years. That's the power we're tapping into here. It's not magic. It's science, rooted in how your body was built to thrive. We're talking about flooding your system with nutrients that repair and recharge. 9 servings of colorful veggies a day. Not 9 plates. Just half a cup here, a cup there. Like tossing broccoli into your lunch stir-fry or munching blueberries while you scroll your phone. Add in lifestyle hacks like giving your body a rest window with intermittent fasting, and suddenly inflammation drops, energy spikes, and even those nagging pains start to ease. I've seen it happen over and over with folks who thought they were just getting old. They weren't. Their cells were just hungry for the right stuff. So, are you ready to flip the switch on how you feel, starting with what's in your kitchen right now? Let's lay it all out, because understanding this is like getting the blueprint to your own body. Mitochondria, these are the energy factories in nearly every cell, including the beta cells in your pancreas that pump out insulin to keep your blood sugar in check. When they're healthy, you're buzzing with life. When they're not, you're wrestling with exhaustion, unstable glucose levels, even risks of heart issues or neurological decline. Research backs this up. Studies show that mitochondrial dysfunction is a key player in type 2 diabetes, with damaged mitochondria leading to reduced insulin production. Stress, poor diet, toxins, even sitting too long can wear them down. I've watched patients come in with sky-high blood sugar, barely able to focus, because their mitochondria were choking on oxidative stress. Think of it like a car engine clogged with gunk, spewing toxic exhaust. Every time your cells burn energy, they create reactive oxygen species, a kind of cellular smoke. Too much of it, without enough antioxidants to clear the air, and you've got inflammation brewing, setting the stage for chronic disease. But here's where it gets real. The food you choose can either fuel that fire or put it out. I remember a guy, mid-40s, who lived on processed carbs, white bread sandwiches, sugary sodas. His blood sugar was a roller coaster, and he felt like garbage. We got him onto a plan packed with anti-inflammatory foods, cold water fish, rich in DHA for brain health, kale salads loaded with vitamin C, and nuts like walnuts for omega-3s. Why does this matter? Because DHA cuts down brain inflammation. Studies suggest by up to 30% in some cases, while phytonutrients in greens fight that oxidative stress head-on. Within a month, his energy was back, his glucose readings dropped, and he wasn't crashing after meals. That's the foundation of what I call the Mighty Food Plan, a personalized, nutrient-dense approach that's not about starvation or bland meals, but about giving your mitochondria exactly what they need. We're talking high-quality fats from avocados, extra virgin olive oil for salads, packed with polyphenols, and coconut oil for cooking at high heat, since it's got MCTs that boost brain function. Then load up on colorful veggies. Cruciferous ones like broccoli and arugula are superheroes for detox and brain health, with glucosinolates that support your immune system. 9 servings sound like a lot? It's not. Half a cup of cooked veggies or a cup of raw greens per serving. So a hearty lunch salad and some steamed broccoli at dinner gets you halfway there. Balance it with low glycemic carbs and protein to avoid insulin spikes. Because when blood sugar's stable, your mitochondria aren't under siege. Beyond food, lifestyle is huge. Intermittent fasting, say a 16-hour window without eating, gives your cells a breather to recharge and can boost brain function by increasing BDNF, a protein that grows and protects brain cells. Exercise ramps up mitochondrial production. Even a 30-minute walk daily can cut inflammation markers by 20%, per some studies. And sleep? Non-negotiable. 7 to 9 hours lets your brain flush out toxins linked to dementia risk through a process called glymphatic clearance. Skimp on it, and you're piling stress on already struggling cells. I've seen this plan work wonders for folks with chronic pain tied to mitochondrial issues. Think fibromyalgia or nagging backaches. Because reducing inflammation with omega-3s from salmon or antibodies. Inflammatory spices like turmeric tackles the root, not just the symptom. It's slower than popping a pill, but the payoff is lasting. So this isn't just about feeling better today. It's about keeping your brain sharp and body strong for decades. It's a shift I've witnessed transform lives. From patients who couldn't climb stairs without panting to ones now hiking on weekends. All because we rebuilt their cellular engines with intentional, vibrant choices. But hold on, here's a curveball that might make you rethink everything. What if the very diets we've been sold as healthy are quietly sabotaging your mitochondria? I'm not just talking junk food. Even some structured plans, like overly strict low-carb regimens, can leave nutrient gaps that starve your cells of critical fuel. Take the ketogenic approach, great for stabilizing blood sugar and pushing your body into ketosis, where it burns fat for brain fuel, potentially increasing mitochondrial creation. But I've seen folks go too far, slashing plant-based foods so much they miss out on fiber, micronutrients, and phytonutrients from colorful fruits and veggies. One patient of mine, a guy in his 30s, went full keto, lost weight, felt sharper at first, but 6 months in, he was sluggish again, dealing with gut issues because he barely ate greens. His antioxidant levels were tanking, leaving his cells vulnerable to oxidative stress. Studies warn that long-term keto without balance can cut dietary variety, risking deficiencies in things like vitamin C or K, vital for fighting inflammation. The fix? We layered in low glycemic berries and leafy greens like spinach, which brought back his gut health and energy without kicking him out of ketosis. That's the nuance of the Mighty Food Plan. It's flexible, not rigid. It pushes variety, ensuring you get heart-healthy fats from avocados, brain-boosting omega-3s from sardines or chia seeds, and inflammation-fighting antioxidants from a rainbow of produce. And if you're vegan or skipping fish, algae oil can fill that omega-3 gap. Research shows it's just as effective for brain health. Here's the challenge. Modern life makes it easy to fall into traps. Processed oils like corn or soybean, they ramp up inflammation, countering everything you're trying to do. Even meal timing matters. Some folks thrive on smaller, frequent meals to keep blood sugar steady, while others, especially with intermittent fasting, do better with larger, less frequent ones. I've had patients experiment and find their sweet spot. Like a busy mom who felt best with 3 solid meals and a 14-hour fasting window. Her cravings gone and energy consistent. The point is, this isn't one size fits all. It's about tuning into your body's signals and plugging nutrient holes before they become craters. So, are you getting the full spectrum, or are there blind spots in your diet quietly dimming your spark? Let's hit the peak of this journey, because this is where it all comes together with undeniable proof and detail. The Mighty Food Plan isn't just a theory, it's a lifeline I've seen rescue people from the brink of despair, backed by science and real-world results. Let's break it down to the nuts and bolts, starting with the star players. High-quality fats. These aren't just calories. They're steady energy for your mitochondria. Think cold water fish like salmon, loaded with DHA, which studies show slashes brain inflammation and supports neuron communication. Or extra virgin olive oil, rich in polyphenols. Research from the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease suggests these compounds protect against cognitive decline by up to 40% in older adults. Use it cold on salads, not for frying, because high heat kills its benefits. Switch to coconut oil for cooking, as its MCTs convert quickly to brain fuel, boosting focus. Avocados, they're a powerhouse of heart-healthy fats, vitamins, and antioxidants, fighting free radicals that age your cells. I had a patient, a retired teacher, whose joint pain was relentless, tied to systemic inflammation. We swapped her margarine for avocado on toast and olive oil dressings. Within 2 months, her pain dropped and her morning stiffness eased, all because we cut inflammatory triggers and fueled her cells right. Next, colorful veggies, 9 servings daily, which sounds daunting, but isn't. Half a cup of cooked broccoli or a cup of raw kale counts as one. Cruciferous veggies like cauliflower and arugula pack glucosinolates, compounds that rev up detoxification and cut chronic disease risk, per studies in cancer prevention research. Blueberries, with their polyphenols, shield mitochondria and boost lifespan. One study showed they improve memory in older adults after just 12 weeks. I've watched a dad in his late 40s struggling with prediabetes turn it around by tossing greens and berries into his daily smoothie. His fasting glucose dropped 15 points in 3 months. No meds needed. Spices amp it up too. Turmeric with curcumin reduces inflammation markers by up to 50% in some trials. Cinnamon helps regulate blood sugar, ideal for diabetes management. Sprinkle it on oatmeal or in stews, and you've got flavor plus function. But it's not just food. Lifestyle seals the deal. Intermittent fasting, even a simple 16 to 8 schedule, ramps up BDNF, which grows brain cells and cuts inflammation, per research in Nature Review's Neuroscience. Exercise. Just 30 minutes of brisk walking 5 times a week increases mitochondrial density by 25%, studies confirm. While sleep, aim for 8 hours, clears brain toxins linked to Alzheimer's. I've seen this full package work miracles. A woman with fibromyalgia, always exhausted, started this plan plus light yoga and a strict sleep schedule. 6 months later, her pain scores halved, her energy doubled, and she was back to gardening, something she hadn't done in years. Chronic pain, fatigue, even early neurological risks like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. These tie back to mitochondrial health, and this plan tackles them at the source. It's not instant. It takes weeks, sometimes months, longer than a pill's quick fix. But the data's clear. A 2020 study in Frontiers in Nutrition found anti-inflammatory diets like this lower diabetes risk by 30% over a decade. I've seen patients ditch meds, stabilize glucose, and reclaim their lives. Think a truck driver who couldn't stay awake on long hauls, now alert and sharp, after prioritizing omega-3s, greens, and rest. This isn't about restriction. It's about abundance. Piling your plate with vibrant, purposeful foods and habits that rebuild you cell by cell. The evidence is overwhelming. The stories are real, and the path is right in front of you. So why wait to feel alive again? Now let's lighten the load for a moment, because this isn't all heavy science. It's about rediscovering joy in the everyday, in ways that sneak up on you with a grin. Imagine this. You're standing in your kitchen, the late afternoon sun spilling through the window, and you've just tossed a handful of fresh blueberries into a bowl. They're not just a snack. They're little bursts of brain-protecting magic, and as you pop one in your mouth, that sweet tart zing hits, and you can't help but smirk. Health can taste this good. I've had moments like that with folks who thought healthy meant choking down tasteless mush. One lady, always grumpy about giving up her sugary desserts, lit up when we paired almond butter with apple slices. Drizzled just right, it was her new treat, packed with mitochondria, boosting fats, and she swore it beat any candy bar. Or picture a family dinner, the table loud with laughter, as you pass around a dish of roasted Brussels sprouts with a pinch of rosemary. Your skeptical uncle, who swore he hated veggies, takes a bite, pauses, and mutters, "All right, I'm in." That's the surprise. These foods aren't punishment. They're a celebration. Even the small wins pile up. I recall a guy who started sipping green tea instead of soda, not expecting much, but found himself sharper during meetings, cracking jokes again, because the catechins in that brew were quietly fighting oxidative stress in his brain. Studies back this vibe. Green tea's EGCG compound can boost metabolism and heart health, making every sip a tiny victory. And let's not forget the quirky hacks, like chopping broccoli and letting it sit 10 minutes before cooking to activate cancer-fighting properties. As research suggests, it's like a secret superpower you wield with a knife. Or tossing ground flax seeds into a smoothie for omega-3s. Keep them in the fridge so they don't spoil, and feeling like a kitchen chemist as you blend. These aren't chores. They're little rituals that reconnect you to your body. I've watched a stressed-out mom find peace in brewing matcha, stirring it into hot water with a bamboo whisk. A 5-minute escape that doubled as a brain boost. It's funny how the simplest shifts, like swapping trans fats for olive oil and watching your energy creep back, can feel like uncovering buried treasure. And the best part? You don't need a gourmet chef's skills. A quick steam of kale with a dash of garlic, a natural immune booster, and you've got a side dish that's punching way above its weight. I've seen tough guys who'd rather grill burgers than touch a salad get hooked on kimchi for gut health after tasting it at a friend's barbecue. Fermented, tangy, and suddenly they're preaching about microbiomes. That's the magic here. Healing doesn't have to be a slog. It can sneak into your life with a flavor pop or a quiet moment of, I feel better. So, next time you're slicing up an avocado or sprinkling turmeric on your soup, give yourself a nod. You're not just eating, you're rewriting how you feel. One delicious bite at a time. All right, let's wrap this up with the heart of it all. Your health isn't a mystery or a lost cause. It's a puzzle you can solve, starting today with the mighty food plan and a few intentional habits. Fuel your mitochondria with vibrant veggies, healthy fats, and anti-inflammatory spices. Stabilize your blood sugar with low glycemic choices, and back it up with sleep, movement, and maybe a fasting window. I've seen it turn lives around, folks going from drained to unstoppable, from med-dependent to thriving, all because they fed their cells what they crave. You don't need to overhaul everything overnight. Start small, maybe with a handful of walnuts or a walk after dinner, and build from there. If you're itching to dive deeper or tailor this to your unique needs, connect with a functional health expert who can map it out for you. And hey, if this sparked something in you, if you want to keep hearing stories and tips like these, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around. Your support is the fuel that keeps me sharing. Videos like this can vanish quick, so don't miss out. And one last thing, I'm curious, what's one food or habit from today that you're excited to try first? Drop it in the comments. Let's swap ideas and keep this momentum rolling.